Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 1073. All right, this chapter, 1073, super exciting. Um, it was one of those chapters that honestly didn't give us any more than we really knew before. It's kind of just a continuation on the last chapter, but let's take a look through this. So, the title of the chapter is Miss Buckingham Stussy, and I'm going to be pronouncing it Stussy from now on, just because that is how Liam from Grand Line Review and mostly B.D.A Law does it. I believe we're lagging out a bit here. Here we are. To figure out these technical difficulties, and we will figure this out here. Okay. Um, we're back. I think we're good. Um, so okay. All right. Forgive me if there's a couple of freezes or pauses in here. Gonna try to make sure that the stream stays on, but StreamYard is really not that good of a platform to be doing streaming on anymore, and I'm honestly thinking of changing what I stream on. Um, anyways, getting into the chapter, Miss Buckingham Stussy, we have Oda's note here, and he says, I went to see Ado-san's live with Nakata-san, Vondi, and Orisaka-san. Man, what an incredible vocal range. It was amazing. Very cool that you still like go out and see concerts and stuff, even though you do so much work, Oda. So the cover page is really interesting. It says German 66's Cold Blooded Voyage, Volume 29, awarded the Eibel Peace Prize for developing the GP flower, a flower that blooms in gunpowder. We're still looking at the background and history of Mads, and pretty much in the last cover story, it looked like Judge, Queen, and Caesar were all kind of trying to invent evil things, and they're kind of just surprised that Dr. Vegapunk is getting so much recognition for trying to make the world a more peaceful place. So yeah, that's the cover story. So we hop right back into the story. As you remember, at the end of the last chapter, it was just revealed that Stussy, um, which is what I'm going to be, how I'm going to be pronouncing her name from now on, Stussy, is a clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy, and also she has some sort of vampire devil fruit. So Kaku's on the floor. Lucci is just reacting to Stussy betraying them and says this is a bitter pill to swallow. He goes to attack her, and she uses this is technically an advanced six powers move. Paper art's heartbreak after image. So she is capable of high speed movement and faster than Lucci, which is honestly very impressive. Um, so she pulls out a sea stone lipstick and sticks it on his neck to nullify his devil fruit powers, and then immediately bites him to put him to sleep as well. Um, I must say, I think she's underestimating the bird quite a bit because Hattori can still do stuff even without Lucci conscious. Anyways, so she's just like, I know how strong you boys are. Fighting you fair and square would have been stupid. Forgive me. So pretty much it is quickly revealed that Stussy was in fact the person that Vegapunk Shaka called out to. Um well, no, actually that would be Vegapunk Stella. So Vegapunk Stella called out to someone and said, please help us. And they said, I've been waiting for this order forever. And so Stussy was the person that they were calling out to. So pretty much they're like, uh, okay, so we have to get outside and tell the Seraphim to stop attacking because the Seraphim are still attacking the uh lab. And so Brooke and Zoro, who are just now seeing the Seraphim, are saying, or Brooke says, do those kids, excuse me, do those kids look familiar? And so it's like, I know, especially that one. Um, so um, Lilith tries to come out and tell the Seraphim to stop, but before she can, S Hawk goes to attack her, and Zoro stops him, which this is an epic moment because S-Hawk being based on Mihawk, this is technically Zoro versus Mihawk. Um and I mean, we kind of have to ask, and I doubt it because S-Hawk is still a child, but we have to ask, is S-Hawk stronger than Mihawk? Because if he is, then Zoro has just made it clear that he can fully go toe to toe with the world's greatest swordsman at this point. Not necessarily defeat, but definitely is on an equal level. But it's interesting because Zoro, while he's fighting S-Hawk, says, on closer inspection, you're not the same. You actually have a spark of humanity still. Which makes me even more scared of Mihawk, because that is Zoro being like, yo, dude, I done fought the original of you, and you ain't it, dude. Because Mihawk does not have one shred of humanity. Like, he's pretty much saying that Hawkeye's Mihawk does not have a soul. Which is really, really scary. But he says, still, what the hell are you? But Edison tries to get them to stop, and the Jinbei Seraphim blasts him away, but Sanji catches him, and while he is flying away, he does get the order out for the Seraphim to stop attacking, and they do. So they thank Stussy, sorry, and we cut to Luffy looking around for Bonnie and Vegapunk Stella. And we get a view outside of Egghead Island that says a truly unexpected development. Dr. Vegapunk's main Stella body has vanished. I'm guessing this is just because nobody can find them because they're deep in the lab and about to look into Kuma's memories. So then we cut to the island of Sphinx in the New World, which is Whitebeard's hometown. And there are some kids, or Marco has arrived there, and there are some kids talking to him and saying that some really horrible, honestly, really horrible Marines came to the island demanding to have, or demanding to look for, or demanding Whitebeard's treasure. They think Whitebeard's treasure is on Sphinx. And so the kids are like, they were just like pirates. So we go into a flashback of the kids, and pretty much these Marines are absolutely horrible. And they're like, yeah, since you can't pay the government protection money, you don't have a legal right to, for us not to come here. And yeah, we're just gonna come here, and if you don't give us what we want, we're gonna kill you. Because you don't have legal rights, because you don't have money. So America. Uh, um, so they are about to kill they're about to kill a granny. They're straight up about to murder a grandmother there, which is that, like, if these guys are in the Marines, these guys are like the bad cops. These guys are like the people we want to defund, man. Um but yeah. So they're about to, and then the supposed son of Whitebeard, Edward Weevil, shows up, and wielding a halberd similar to Whitebeard's, that might even be Whitebeard's halberd. He attacks these Marines and yells out, "Stay away from Pappy's home." So then all the Marines run away, and they're kind of freaking out because Weevil is an ex-warlord of the sea. So they all leave, and then pretty much they send Ryokugyu, the forest guy, back there. Ryokugyu easily subdues Weevil and takes him away. And that is what they and that is what is explained when Miss Buckin shows up, and pretty much through these little signs here, these little excerpts, we get the true background. So former member of the Rocks Pirates, self-proclaimed scientist, Mad's resident freeloader, Miss Buckin, also known as Miss Buckingham Stussy. So that does reveal quite a few things here. Specifically that the Miss Buckin is the original Miss Buckingham Stussy. There were no clones before her, and she is the original Stussy. And so the Stussy that we know that is now on Egghead Island is the first successful clone of this lady. So I guess we all now know what Stussy is going to look like when she's old. Unless clones don't age, but who knows? So honestly, Buckingham Stussy, Miss Buckin, is super impressive. Like, not only was she in the Rocks Pirates, but she was a part of MAD, so part of two big, very earth-shattering, world-changing groups. And she is a self-proclaimed scientist. I don't know what she ended up, or what field she ended up being in, but I'm guessing we're gonna find that out. So anyways, she explains that, like I said, Ryokugyu came along and took away Weevil. And they're putting him in prison for attacking the Marines. And she says, "Marco, I can hear it in your tone. You still doubt he's Whitebeard. He's Whitebeard's. Well, I know someone who can prove it. Dr. Vegapunk. So apparently, Dr. Vegapunk can prove that Edward Weevil is actually Whitebeard's son. So we see Miss Buckingham Stussy crying right here. And I'm guessing she's crying because she sees that at the bottom of the page it says, "We are on break next week." I'm crying too because I love One Piece, and breaks are hard to go through, as are breakups. Anyways, we get a little bit of a thing after the end card here, and it shows the Kizaru and the ships that are coming to Egghead Island. And so pretty much there's a Marine talking to Kizaru, and he says, hey, we got everything ready. Kizaru is saying, you made sure to test for poison, right? Of course. So this is a Marine ship meeting up with a world government ship. And Kizaru asks him, have you ever met Dr. Vegapunk before? And it is revealed that one of the Gorosei is on a ship heading to Egghead Island. And this is the highest authority in the world, one of the 5 elders, Saint J. Garcia Saturn. So this is one of the biggest of the big wigs. He says, once a long time ago, I think what's happening now is truly such a shame. So the Gorosei are on the move. The Gorosei are finally doing something, and it's crazy, man. So pretty much, and I'm gonna get into my theories next. So I'm gonna hold on to my next thought. So just really quick before we get into the theory section, we do have a Patreon, and you can check that out at www.patreon.com/AfroX. You can sign up to donate to the channel in increments of let's hear them, $5, $10, $30, $50, and $100 a month. There's different rewards for those tiers. I talked about it yesterday on my live stream, so you can hear about it there, or you can just go to the website and they will be shown there. We also have, we also have a Facebook page called AfroX. We also have a Facebook group called the Official AfroX Fan Club. If you join that, you will be added to a chat group where you'll be able to be notified if I take a week off. We have a TikTok, which is at AfroX_YT, and a Twitter, even though Twitter's dying, which is called at the Real AfroX. All right. Moving forward into the theories section. So the thought that I was kind of holding here was, now that we know there's a Gorosei on the ship with Kizaru coming to Egghead Island, there is pretty much only one option for the Straw Hats, which is they need to get themselves, and Stussy is going to go with them, which honestly I think is really cool. They need to get all 10 of the Straw Hats, Jewelry Bonnie, Dr. Vegapunk, Stella, all of the Vegapunk bodies, and all of the Vegapunk satellites, and probably all of the Seraphim. They need to get all of those groups of people off this island as fast as possible. Because if Kizaru shows up with a Gorosei member, as you know, in the hierarchy of who can control the Seraphim, the Gorosei are at the top. If that Gorosei member, if Saint J. Garcia Saturn orders the Seraphim to destroy the Straw Hats, there is no one that can stop them. And the Seraphim will not stop until the Straw Hats are completely destroyed. Um, so they need to get off the island before Kizaru and um I'm just gonna shorten his name to Saturn. They need to get off the island before Kizaru and Saturn get there. Because if they don't, they are going to have so if they don't, it's gonna be an absolute all-out war on Egghead Island. Like probably the likes of the Marineford War. Because it's going to be all the Straw Hats, all of the Vegapunk satellites, and Jewelry Bonnie versus Kizaru, all of the Seraphim, and like a good 20 fully loaded battleships. So yeah, Straw Hat and allies need to Straw Hats and allies need to get off of Egghead Island before Kizaru gets there. That is the only way we do not end this in like Egghead Island being completely destroyed, and that might happen too. That might happen too. I mean, we know that Emu is or as his name is actually pronounced Eam, is always like standing in the background watching, and honestly, it like we're at a point in One Piece where now that we've seen the destruction of Lelouch Island, we now know that could happen anywhere. Like Eam could just give the order and be like, they're gonna escape before Kizaru gets there, and Eam's just like, okay, use our laser weapon and blow up all of Egghead Island. Like we're really at the point where Eam can just blow up any island that any enemy he sees fit is on. Like Eam is pretty much an unstoppable god at this point. Um so yeah, if things get bad enough, Eam could just drop lasers and blow up all of Egghead. Uh and hoping it doesn't come to that, but it could. It could. Nobody really knows. Um anyways, uh as for as for the reveals and stuff like that, I do want to say things I liked about this chapter. I liked seeing a kind of Zoro versus Mihawk, and things I didn't like about this chapter. I still don't like Edward Weevil. I honestly hope that Vegapunk comes out to reveal that Edward Weevil is not the actual son of Whitebeard. Um, just because Whitebeard is my favorite character and is such an important man that seeing someone like Edward Weevil idolized on the same level as Whitebeard, I would hate it. I'd hate it so much. Like no one can replace Whitebeard. Nobody. Not his son, not Blackbeard, nobody can replace Whitebeard. And honestly, if that's what Miss Buckinham is trying to do, is trying to get Marco to follow Edward Weevil as the new Whitebeard, I'm gonna hate it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna stop following the series, but that will be a significant stain on my enjoyment of the series. But yeah, that is all I had for One Piece chapter 1073. As it said, we are on break next week, so in 2 weeks, I will be bringing you a review of One Piece chapter 1074. And you know there's going to be a whole bunch of content in between those 2 weeks, so stay tuned. Stay tuned, folks, for the next piece of One Piece to be continued.